Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 11 of our Video Every Day in April challenge. I'm your host, Anna Larson of Nomadabout, and this is my co-host, Selena Conmackey of How Will We Socially Inspired. Together, we have formed a joint project, Anna and Selena, which is the go-to place for website design, digital strategy, and so much more. Today, for our Video Every Day in April challenge, we have a guest, Carolyn Schafer, that is joining us. Hi, Selena. How are you today?
I'm excited about today. Like we have a guest on, and we're talking about creating content because that's what we're doing. First of all, this 30 days in April, and she's the
Yes.
one for the challenge, and I'm so excited. I'm
I
excited.
know, but Carolyn's content is a little bit different than what you might expect just when you talk about creating content. I think that's where it's going to be super fun because it's just something a little more unique, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, but at the end of the day, right? She's going through the same type of processes that we all are going through. So, okay, like Anna said, I'm going to actually show you. We're going to pop on. Hold on. Let's see if I do this right. We're going to pop on what she does. I'm going to go right here. I love it. I love it. You guys, right?
Right? It's so great.
Yeah. So, okay, let's bring her up. Let's bring her on.
I know. I'm
Caroline,
going to bring
welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay,
I feel seen by the fairy godmother right now. I'm like, okay.
I hope she knows you're coming to speak on her behalf today. That's all I'm saying.
Now, originally, we had talked about having Carolyn come on as the fairy godmother, but then the more we thought about it, we thought, you know what? Let's talk to her as Carolyn, right? And what your process is when you're creating content as the fairy godmother or any of your many other characters. Like, how many characters do you play?
Yeah.
Well, so far I've only been two, but after tonight I will be able to say three. So I was Mrs. Claus. That's kind of what started this whole thing, and then worked into the fairy godmother. And then tonight I will be a certain. I'm still doing the research on how much I can legally say, but I will be a general who is a female from a galaxy that is far away.
Got
Yes.
it.
And I will be her spirit thing.
Funneler.
The spirit funneler.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, we're gonna ask Caroline a couple questions, and because I think what Anna was saying is, yeah, what her content is unique, but the processes that we all go through are the same, right? So here's somebody that you just saw make a fun, what was that, like 4 seconds, 5 second reel, right? But let's talk about the truth behind it, right? So let's ask the first question.
Yes.
Pick you up. You're going to go into this mode.
So Carolyn, how long did it take you to get ready when you filmed that fairy godmother recording or any of your characters actually? Tell us a little bit about that getting ready process.
Sure. Well, the first time, I'm trying to think. Mrs. Claus took a while because I was trying to develop her character. I did not want her to be kind of a dowdy cookie baking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with baking cookies. I love cookies. But I didn't want her to just be a in the kitchen Mrs. Claus. So I wanted her to be, I don't know, more. And so, because she does so much, I don't think people, we don't really pay attention. Everybody wants the Santa. I get it. I get it. Everybody wants Santa. But when they would see Mrs. Claus, that was magic for me. So it took me a little bit to figure out how I would do her hair. I didn't really time her, but I know that this is what I've done with, and then Fairy Godmother too. When I get into character and once I've done whatever it was I initially was going to do, then I'm like, what else can I do? What's trending, or what could be trending, or what fits my character? Because some of the trending stuff doesn't necessarily fit the fairy godmother.
Right.
And I didn't think to take Mrs. Claus to the level that I have with the fairy godmother. I don't know why. It just started hitting me. Well, I'll just start doing reels as the fairy godmother. But the first time, last Monday, let's see, it took about 3 hours. but I try to work out first, get my lungs all, and then I was really practicing her voice because I wanted her to sound older, but not. It's really hard to mimic when you're not a full-time impressionist. Mimicking someone's voice is a little bit challenging. But I did my best. I was like, well, let me make something that sounds, and then the second day it took like hour and a half, and then by Wednesday I started an hour early, and then 15 minutes before the live, I was like, what do I do now? Because I wanted the makeup to be right and everything.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing though is like it's like a process, right? So you were talking about how when you were Mrs. Claus, you hadn't thought about doing this thing. And it wasn't until you started trying these different elements that you started to develop more of what maybe these characters could bring to your content, what they could bring to your lives, what they could, little things you could do with them. And now that you're in our third yet unnamed costume happening tonight.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be this continued growth that you'll see in this character building and live building and content building process you've got, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, and I never would have gone live before you guys and your encouragement and your, come on, and then once you get over that first time.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask you, right? So Caroline, if you guys don't know, if you haven't seen the other 10, Anna and I are doing video every day in April. We have a little group that we created, and Caroline joined us, and she jumped on the challenge, and she's been going live every day in character. That can't be easy either, right?
No, I ended up Friday. I was physically exhausted because it's funny because I'm not nervous, but I'm so excited because I love acting.
Yeah.
And so the getting into character, and while it's only for a really 15 minutes, and then again, anything I do after, but it takes a lot out of me. And I just was like, whoa, it was kind of one of those breathe. But then I went live Saturday, and then I took yesterday off. So it's going to be every night this week. In fact, there was a time I was like, oh, okay, I need to go here. And I was, nope, I'm going to be here at 7:00 every night this week. And now I'm kind of really excited. I was excited last week, but now I'm like, ooh.
I love that. And I think I was actually just talking, I have some great, fantastic humans in my house today helping me clean it. And we're actually going to go live because we were chatting about it. So anyway, I love it. I love it, Caroline. I love seeing the excitement. I do.
Yeah. I'm trying to come up with other characters too. I'm like, what else can I do without spending money on costumes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that actually brings us to our second question, right? Which is, tell us, what is the behind the scenes planning session look like for you? Like in terms of deciding who you're going to be, what you're going to talk about, what are you going to do? How do you figure all that out?
Well, Mrs. Claus.
Me.
Wanting to say hi.
Hello. With Mrs. Claus, that one was really, I threw that one together, which again, looking back at that, and I did pre-plan. So I should start over. I threw the first few together, but then ideas started coming. And so I sit down with a Google Doc and I think of different subjects, like what would Mrs. Claus, what would she be doing? In my idea of who Mrs. Claus is, what is she doing, right? She's probably wrangling the elves. She's probably making sure that the reindeer are taken care of. Her and Santa may have different responsibilities than what people think. So I kind of made up my own little world for what I thought Mrs. Claus would do, and I would list those things. And then I would record them, and sometimes that went well, and some of those I did not use. Oh, and I did forget, actually, I do have another character, the fairy tale creature Hotline.
Oh, that's right. You did do the fairy tale creature. I remember that. Those were funny phone calls.
That was the first one. I think, was that the first or second? See, I don't even know. I just know November, December, these ideas just kind of hit me, and I thought, let's do it. And I have some more. I've started working on that as well. So let's get that going again and planning all of that out. So I use Asana for a calendar. Okay, who would go where? Hey, maybe that'll be my character next week, the fairy tale creature Hotline.
Right? You could have the behind the scenes with the fairy tale creature secretary who's planning and scheduling out all of these different things that are happening. I'd love to see that character.
Ooh, wheels are turning. Wheels are turning. Yeah, and I tried to pick books that I thought, well, this last week, so Saturday I read Cinderella because the fairy godmother has to read Cinderella. And then this week I will be reading 5-minute stories, 5-minute Star Wars stories. Can I say that? I said it.
I'm so excited. It's for you to read, so why
It's from the book.
your name, right? Yeah.
Right. And I'm not getting paid for any of this. People go buy the book so I don't feel so
No, I love it. So look, Caroline says there's planning sessions for everything that you do, and everybody's looks different. But the fact is we're saying there's more to just hitting go live. There's so much more, right?
Yeah.
And I was once I sat down and did more than just this is the topic.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I mean, it's improv. I can improv, right? But when you're on your 15th take because you didn't write it out, then you go, maybe I should just take a few minutes. I mean, it's a 30-second recording. How long is it really going to take me to write out a 30-second recording? Yeah. And as an actor and a voice actor, I know how to read it where you can't tell I'm reading it. So, I mean, I don't know why we tend to make it harder than it should be the first time. And then you're like, okay, I learned my lesson. I'm good.
I will say that is kind of a cardinal rule for going live, especially if you aren't someone that does it super frequently and feel very comfortable just talking on the fly. You always should have at least an outline of some sort of script so you stay on track. Because otherwise you find yourself rambling about random things here and there, and then you're like, wait, this isn't even what I wanted really to talk about. But you know how our brains work, right? They just get going and going, and then your mouth keeps going, and then you're like, now I have to redo it. But when you're live, guess what? You don't get to redo it when you're live. That is your live. There is no recording to go back and retry a second time. So always write out a script. Yes.
Yeah, I think, okay, but I also think what Caroline had said segues us into our last question, because she said there was a lot of learning blocks or whatever you want to call it that has happened. So, all right, Caroline, if you could share one tip with others who are brand new to the game, or they're struggling, what would you say to them?
Only one?
One, because then they can come find you for the others. That's the whole point of this, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Well, when she talked about rambling, I was like, exactly what I'm doing right now.
No, not true.
No.
This is a very, very planned out session.
Share the content that you love no matter what. No matter what. Because I love acting and voice acting, and I don't have an agent. I am accepting agents' proposals, and I don't work at Disney yet. Anytime, or in any of the cartoons. But I thought, if I sit around and wait, what am I doing? Am I doing it because I love it? Or am I doing it because I want to be famous? No, I'm doing it because I love it. And that unlocked so much for me. And it's not my paid gigs at all. I have other things I do, producing podcasts, writing, hosting podcasts, but this is what I love. So I just make it happen. And it hasn't always been a priority, but it is now.
Yeah. I love that. I love the idea of following like that passion, right? And that's okay if it's not an instant moneymaker or instantly recognized at, with 1 million likes and follows and a huge following. Because what you're doing is you're developing who that person is right now, or that person being Caroline, but also like all those characters that are part of now your theme, right? I mean, the better they get and the bigger they get and the more you develop, it'll grow with you. I love that.
But I'm also, what I'm also hearing too, right, is like, do what you love. And then it is easy, right? Yeah. It's easy to emote out what you're trying to convey because, you know what I mean? Like if somebody said to me, Selena, host a cooking show, not my zone of genius. My face is not going to be animated. I'm not going to put out as much love as I do for, like, say, I want to build your social media strategy. Like, lights up in my eyes. You know what I mean? So I love that that's the tip that you shared, is don't force something that's not part of your insides or whatever you want to call it. Oh, so good.
Yeah, the harder I've tried, the worse. Like it's the things that I was like, I'm going to do it because I love it.
Yeah.
Period. And if you reach one person, that's what it's about. When I get a message from one person saying, oh my gosh, I loved this so much.
Yeah.
Or when I hear about the kids and the only time they sat still was when they watched the Fairy Godmother. Mm-hmm. My heart's happy. I'm so happy for those parents. I'm so happy. I've done my job. I've done my job.
I love it.
No, I mean, and gosh, I just feel like, wait, we're going to just pop this in one more time. And because what she just said is, like, just listen to the Fairy Godmother. Right. Just don't talk about yourself and just right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you guys, this is day 11, right, Anna? And it was 11. Yeah, Caroline, I love you for, like, joining us on the journey, and I can't wait to see more things. In fact, Caroline and I want to join her on her stuff and help her in any way that I can. So we're excited. We're working together. Wink, wink. You guys are far away.
I love you both so much. I'm just going to tell my husband he's got to make sure the army. Can we just go to Fort Hood? Thank you.
Oh, man.
Please come to Fort Hood. We would love that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to lie.
So nice.
All right. This is where I put on our little, like, we're exiting out music. And we're going to say goodbye and say thank you to Caroline. And we'll see you all tomorrow for our 15-ish minute coffee chat.
Go do a live today of something you're passionate about.
Do it. Listen to these two.
You can do it.